Mind it.
No, there's nothing there. Okay.
But I somehow got it out of shot, so that's fine.
It's just the bottles that need to get moved.
Yeah.
Tell them to obviously put it on off. I don't know.
Nah, man.
Yeah, just take it out of the way.
Charge this, man. £1 bottle.
There you go. Yeah,
What water? £1. So.
Everything looks fucking amazing.
Hey. Missed that. What did you try to push it just a little bit up?
Yeah, that's what I tried to do.
No, aye, that is going to be techie because it's not even this one, it's that one.
You know what it is? You don't even need it on.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Let me turn it off then and see how it looks. You think?
Turn on.
Let me change the camera. Look at this, put me this.
No.
Line up, finish.
Yeah.
Because it's literally that side one.
How about now? Is it in the shop?
Come up. No, that's yes.
Yeah, it's still in the shop. You.
Hiya.
Yeah.
Sorry, darling. We're pressing the button to get in, but no one's answering.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's gonna come down and get you.
Okay, cool. Bye, darling. Bye-bye.
Cool.
Hi, my name is Kamari. I'm your engineer for today. Welcome to Titans.
But hold on.
It's streaming. Don't worry.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So welcome to Titans. My name's Cam. I'll be your engineer for today.
Yep.
Boom. Then I'll take you up.
Yep. This man being so leaky. I don't know what all that.
Any nut allergies?
Any nut allergies?
No.
Huh? I don't think there's any nut allergies.
I'm Susan, like it's obviously sweet stuff. Yeah, toasted. I like this. It's, it's like an intimate shagging pad. This is where you have that.
You need to tell her to say this on the podcast.
I was thinking about everybody like
Intimate shagging pad.
I
I have to let them know he's in the room.
Say something else.
What's the wire right behind you?
Listen, I'm 57 at this age, you can say everything. And this would be men's ways, perfect things like action,
You're still going,
I'm not listening anymore. I've got just listening.
Yeah, nah, if I had this in my house, I'll just watch films in there.
I haven't watched the whole film for ages. We put it on. We put the
Don't,
blanket on.
are you gonna be,
No.
Susan, are you gonna keep this sentence
No,
PG?
we put a Netflix lights on, and then you put the blanket over, and then you wake up towards the end of the movie and you go, we'll try again tomorrow. We'll try again and watch it tomorrow.
Right, you guys. What did we say?
It's always hot in it. It's too hot in here, you know.
It's
The lights in there.
Always too hot in here.
Wow! Earlier on it was cold.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's at the very coolest temperature.
Hey, that t-shirt's wavy.
I love that. I'm not trying this to get me.
Right, guys, that's my water
real?
bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, people use some Burberry t-shirts though. I can't lie.
On a good day, they actually got some
They
good
got
stuff.
shit t-shirts. Yeah, like their graphic t-shirts are really good.
I'm scared. Callum says, shush, sit down. Come on, sit down, sit down. Stop talking.
Make sure she knows where she's going. Does she know where she's going?
Yeah, I showed her when
Okay.
we was coming today as well, I believe. Does it look that bad?
Callum's gonna take her upstairs to get to the toilets to waste time. He was supposed to do that.
Yeah. Take off the boxing bits, guys.
Brethren, if Buxton are watching this Saturday, then we're blown. That's free promotion as far as I'm concerned. We don't have money to send them anyway, so I'm joking. Take them off. Where should I sit?
What did we say?
You don't want no close up, so you're there. I'll go here. Susan here, Gente there. Gente there. No, yeah, you're there.
Yeah. I want to see if this looks alright.
Regardless, I'll be here, then I'll be monitoring that.
I've got chewing gum in my mouth. Is this you?
Yeah. You know something?
No.
I finished gym minutes. I just need a quick something. Really, if I finished on time, if I started and finished on time, I'd have gonna got a whole chicken.
Oh yeah, fix it. So I don't know what you Callum, you made it worse though. You let the whole thing's in now.
What's that?
No,
This?
no, yeah, I'm trying to.
Let me get out of your way.
You got to differentiate when we're both in the room,
Angle it down, right?
because I'm Callum as well. So
Callum with the K.
he's Callum with a K. I'm just Callum.
K dot.
And you see that.
Huh?
The one, the bald one.
You, well, if he's okay with it.
The hairy one, the bald one.
The one with the locks and the one with the bald one.
Are you Loxy, babe? I'm joking. Imagine if he wasn't, it's just your head you do.
I feel like last time I was here, I still had the same cough.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Madness, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm glad this is
Just
there.
angle this camera down. Angle the camera down. Leave it how it is, but just angle the camera down.
Are they both in the bathroom?
Yeah, they're both on. You got any?
Gente here, Susan there, yeah?
Susan here.
Sorry, I've got to clean my hands. There's no close up with me because I've got this shit on my lip. Every time I get, I just think of how high.
No, so not this one.
That shit on the lip, got some shit on the lip. Pardon? Sorry.
That's the you said no.
I just wanted to check if sitting greasing up the hand then. Why have I got
You know what?
You know?
You know, I think it would be a nice niche
Gone.
if we had it open while we're like.
I've got it, I'm having it open.
Yeah, man, I'm opening it up, man.
My
The
ADHD
people
brain's
them-
going to dissolve all the information I'm supposed to remember. You know, you just got to refresh.
Yeah.
I'll hide that in there.
Just to let you guys know, the bottles on the table don't look great.
Oh, no, this is for them to take off their labels. Mine's over there in the corner.
They're
I'll
not
get
gonna
them
be on
to
the table
hang
now.
away. And the snack as well. They're even listening.
So,
You're full of banter, you know. You see you.
Listen, I am tired. You're going to have to help me out today, I swear to God.
okay, so listen up, people.
Yep.
Also with like, so you also like to change the ambient line. Maybe you have certain colours you want to have in the background. You wouldn't mind, or you don't really, not really fussed.
No, I'm easy. Yeah. Don't overthink it. I think if you give me those ideas, I'm going to, yeah.
Yeah, you can't. You can't.
Be here all day.
We've both got something.
We've both got something on.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you say about finish at 55?
You know, I think it'll be good.
Yeah, finish at
Yeah.
55.
Just after, I just want to take a photo with them before we leave. That's okay.
Okay.
When are you leaving?
I'm
joking.
I'm trying to go. So 7:55 is the official time that we're going to be stopping.
Yeah.
But if you need extra time,
I'm not even looking at you at this point. Go on.
let your engineer know.
What time are we stopping?
5 to
5 to 8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to stop filming at what time? You're here, Susan.
Yeah.
We need to
7:55.
stop filming when?
So you could be out for 8 o'clock.
Okay, 5 minutes, cool.
Yeah. But if you need extra time,
We don't need extra time.
let me know.
Brother, we need a 15-minute. We need no
I'll let you know.
We've
15 minutes.
recently
15 minutes.
Cam, show them what we recently got at the bottom down there.
Oh. Card machine.
So
I can't with you. Go, bye. You know. I've named you.
Sabrina.
I've renamed you. You know that. You know what your name is in our phones.
Sabrina.
Taxi man. No, the
Sabrina.
black cabs.
wow.
Sabrina, the man got a card machine in there, you know.
Yeah.
I can't believe what I'm seeing.
That's not
1 minute
fair.
over, yeah.
I'll call Callum and let
What?
1 minute over.
You should have. You know, what you should have
Yes.
5-minute charges or 10-minute charges.
Nope.
Cause that's more realistic.
No.
Like not no.
He's like, no.
I mean,
That's not enough money. That's not enough
I
money.
don't mean as like a fixed add-on.
Yeah.
I mean like in the event that someone
come, babes.
like has like, you know,
Check
just
it out.
I don't know, like not even 5 and 10. I don't know if it's like half that or like some sort of add-on where you're like, okay. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what we charge you?
What?
We'll only charge you for the studio hire, no engineer fee. That's it.
Why is Callum still here? Bye. Have a safe journey home. Safe journey home, darling.
But as I
Say
said,
hello to
yeah.
Mrs.
This is our VIP clients, so they get the VIP treatment, so they don't get rushed.
And you don't bring out that card machine either.
Yeah, we don't bring out no card machine. It's our VIPs. But we'll give them ample time. Is there anything else?
Sound checks. Let's go.
I'm sorry, let's fetch children. And take your covers off and just put it
Thank you.
somewhere away from the table.
I get the link as well. Get the YouTube link on your phone so you can show them, so they can okay it.
Be fan from that. What we're gonna do, in terms of themes, yeah, in terms of how, like, and this is for you, Gente, as well. We're gonna run through essentially why you're here. So, but you're best to introduce yourself in terms of why, not why you think that you were invited on for this theme, but why you're here for this theme, and Gente yourself, and then we're gonna sort of go into actually looking at the report and this theme. Yeah, and then it's just literally a informal, but still, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, my brain has gone blank. Informal, but still professional opinion of what we're talking about. So yeah, essentially it starts with introductions, and then we just start the discussion. Don't worry if you're not massively like versed in each detail of the report. That's fine. Mainly, we want to. This isn't to uphold the report. Is what I say to people. The purpose of this podcast isn't to say, "Wow, we've got the golden ticket here." It's an extension of the report in some respect. Yeah. So, to some respect, we can scrutinize the report. We can scrutinize the findings, or we can scrutinize sort of what public health should be doing, or what they could be doing to better some of these statistics and some of these findings, for example. And that's the crux of it, really. So the Blacher report is really the driving force to the conversation, but you don't have to. It's not so centered around it that if you don't know in and out, that it's gonna stop you from being able to talk. Yeah.
Okay.
But I've read it. I have read it.
Why do you want to do these reports?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Four,
Of course.
yeah, $4
Of
grand.
course.
Yeah, I got a card machine
book.
as well. You know.
Don't mind. How much does this cost?
Couple episodes.
Yeah.
Sorry, you got to pick this or not? Yeah. Are you happy with that?
Show
Show Susan. I'm over myself. Oh, you won't have a film if I look at myself.
Was it live?
Yeah. No, just to us. It's not out there.
I was gonna say.
I'm not littering. I'm just putting it here
Do you
together.
know what?
Oh.
I'll tell you something, yeah.
Chewing gum as well.
Oh, my chewing gum's in my bag.
Okay.
I'll shove it in the back of your seat. I'm joking.
Hey, listen.
Yep.
I was talking to myself, but I was like, I know I got a big head, but like some shots, right, man. I can have my hair out next time. Can have a little detract from the forehead.
Right, sound check, guys. Go.
Sound check.
Guys, speaking to a mic.
Come on. You don't want to go over time.
Well, I need one of them.
Quick.
Catching my still hair.
Let's see it.
Yep. Testing. Everything good?
I can't find my
So,
pen.
Just talk. Wait.
so what,
Turn the mic to what
no.
Oh, sorry.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Sit comfortably how you'd sit.
So what you want to do? Show them
Like if you
show them this room, yeah.
Yeah. How are you gonna be sitting like that?
Yeah.
And then
That's
angle
fine.
the- angle
Cool.
the mics to
Yeah.
them as well.
Can you hear me okay? I'm sorry, I've got such a rough voice. My throat is killing me at the moment, but it's okay.
That should be fine.
Yeah. Awesome.
Make sure you do the
If
camera.
that takes any more than 10 seconds to fix, yeah.
Next, who's yellow?
Me? Hello? I'll bring it. Like that? Is that better? Okay.
Me, yeah. Oh, welcome, people.
So I don't go like that and speak that way.
Speak out. Hello.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
saying.
gonna touch it. I'm gonna keep it there.
Oh, is it good? It's good? Ah, it's nice. Ah, cool.
Last time the man gave us tea and biscuits, and then the man gave us some Hennessy, and this time, you know. Yeah. I didn't even know he was hearing it. I thought he was gone. I'm rapping. I'm a fool. You can't listen to me. I'm a fool. So,
For real, you know.
yeah, I'm proper stupid. I'm silly.
I don't have anything, you know.
No, we're good. We're good. We're good.
Don't worry, man. I thought we was VIPs, but you know, it's alright. Don't worry.
I'm sitting, you know.
Is that you treat your VIPs? Is it?
Mate,
No, right. No, I'm messing about.
I was supposed to go shopping for you guys.
No,
Here we
silly.
go.
No.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
The organic thing, only growing in one place in the world.
I drink nettle tea.
That's what he asked for the first time we come.
I drink nettle tea as well.
drink
No, it's really good for you. And dandelion tea.
I don't
All
do
good?
dandelion.
Yeah, all good.
Nettle is very good for you.
It is.
Sure, ready, guys?
Here we go. Okay.
Oh, sorry, Jen, just to let you know, those are the key findings, yeah, if you just...
Ah, cool.
You can pick things up, you can move around, it's flexible, yeah, so
Ah,
don't...
cool.
And you can go on your phone if you need to.
Last camera.
Cool.
Just make sure you've got your phone's on silent and no
Yeah.
alarms, and as I'm saying that, I'm going to check my alarms.
So is this like a Q&A? Like, do you ask the questions? Who's the lead on this?
I'll be the lead on it, so I'll ask questions, but it's just more, imagine us just discussing it on a Tuesday, just us having a random conversation about it, so it's not too strenuous or anything like that.
She's leading question-wise, but you
cool.
two are leading answers-wise. So
Okay.
it is a discussion, but we want your views.
Okay, cool, no problem.
Cool.
We'll get involved in the discussion. See you later, Carl. Thank you, yeah?
See you later, darling, go
Bye.
safely.
We'll get involved in it, but yeah.
Camera.
Bye, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
He's such a thief. Not joking.
Oh, gosh, I'm trying to log into my thing, it's taking
Oh
long.
my god, we're
Right.
gonna get kicked out of this studio, boy.
Sorry guys, bear with me, I'm just having technical difficulty. I don't know.
Let me turn my do not disturb on. And let's go.
Okay, we good?
Bro,
Yeah?
remember the clock's down there, yeah?
Yeah. So we good to go? Yeah?
Cool.
Okay.
It's okay, I'm nervous too.
Okay, welcome back to Same Place, Worlds Apart. Start again, sorry. Welcome to Same Place, Worlds Apart. We are going to be talking about theme 3 from the Blashare report. I'm really excited about this conversation today and our fabulous guests. So I'm going to start off with the lovely Susan to introduce herself.
My name is Susan Rowe. I was originally from the Lewisham Education Group, and I support the Children and Young People's Safeguarding Board, and also, sorry, I got that completely.
That's okay. This is natural. Go for it.
And I'm also part of the Lewisham Safeguarding Board for the 18 and unders.
Excellent. And the lovely Gente.
Cool. What, do I talk to the camera or just?
You can talk to us. You can talk to the camera. Just
Talk to us.
Alright, cool. Well, on people. Obviously, my name. I do it every time. Every time it's like my thing as young mayor. I get mocked for it in school, but I do it. I have to do it every time.
Hey.
Nah. So on people. Obviously, my name is Gente Gen 1, and I'm currently Lewisham's 18th young mayor.
Excellent.
Big up. I'm Callum, so I'm co-host. So I come from Ubuntu. One of the directors of Ubuntu. I lead Black Leadership Project, and I'm co-hosting with my host Sabrina.
Excellent. So today we're just going to go deep into what the Blashare report is saying in terms of theme 3, which is children and young people. As we know from our last segment, Lewisham's quite a young borough. I think the average age in Lewisham is actually 35. And when you look at that age group, you think about, I guess I fit into that category, we're the new parents of the borough. So our children are what this theme is speaking on. So just wanted to get your updates on what you believe, what you found from the report. I mean, I don't want to say Gente, Susan, but anyone that wants to
Do you know
come
what I
in?
feel like? Before we dive into that though, I wanted to ask you both, and I'm going to start with you, Susan. In terms of children and young people, what obviously we've invited you both on for a reason, right? And I don't really know how to phrase this question. I don't know if you can sort of surmise what I'm asking in some way, shape, or form. But why are you here to speak about this? Why is it something that you're passionate to speak about? Because obviously we sent out a list of the topics for the report, and then we've been selective with who's come on. But why does this stand out for you?
Because I love our children like my own. You don't do this work hoping to get rich, make money, or anything else. You do it because you really care. And when I look in the faces of children that look like my own, there's a part of me that loves them first and wants them to have the opportunities that I had and my children have actually had. And as a society, we owe them that. So I have dedicated thus far, since returning back to the UK, 8 years of my life intensively fighting to ensure that they do actually have that. I'm very concerned about our children's lack of social mobility because of the issues referred to in the Blashare report. And I'm also very concerned at the fact that politicians appear to think it's okay for our children to be where they are.
And
Great
give us
answer.
a bit about your background as well, just so the people that are watching are able to familiarize themselves with the people on the show. So start again with like I'm on you, and then I'll move over to Gente.
I have a very interesting background as it goes, if the truth comes to the truth. I am a child from a single parent home to a father that had me at age 57. So guys, be careful. You're all really pretty good. And I was a child, truthfully, of the community. So my father was my primary carer, but I had a whole group of aunties that loved me, that looked after me. And I was everybody's belly wash, the last child. So everybody loved and protected me. And in that child of the community, I learned a lot of different things from different people, but I was always taken care of. In fact, sometimes a little bit too much. But when I had children and when I was 15, I joined a party in Brixton where you know, it was dark as hell, and all of the other politicians of the time. So I kind of grew up with them as well. So I've always had a real serious social conscience about people around me and what's going on, and a sense of responsibility back to the community. But the flip side of that is also I was a hardcore businesswoman as well. And I started very young in purchasing property and flipping it. In fact, I purchased my first apartment at 18, and that was from my daddy putting aside a co-op saving scheme for me from the time I was born. And at 18, he said to me, "Time to go and buy your first house." And I remember taking it personal, like he wanted me to move out. But he was actually just teaching me that, you know, this is part of society. So I bought my first place at 18, sold it at 19 and a half, and made 20,000. And after that, by the time I was 27, I owned 17 units.
Wow.
So I was technically an asset millionaire by the time I was 27.
Damn.
So I give those flowers when, do you know what I mean?
So is dinner on you later, yeah?
If I had the energy, yeah. And then my father passed away by the time I was 30, and after that, I felt free to then want to actually leave the UK, because I'd reached that ceiling both in Korea, and it was very difficult to grow here back in the day. So you're looking at about 26, 27 years ago. I was also part of the corporate housing corporation situation, and I had 3 children. So it was a lot that I was juggling at the time. And we decided to move to Florida. And, you know, basically I went there, and within 3 years we was running our own business that was turning over $4 million a year with 52 employees. So I'm not...
we can't just let that pass. Do you know what I mean?
I just literally staring at you, like I literally blocked out the fact that we're even recording. Sorry.
But there is a lot of people in the community like me. I'm not alone, and I'm not unusual. And the truth of the matter is, in that, I was able to put quite a lot of investment in my children, who have all got their own, you know, like careers and identities. And a lot of them are all global workers. I encourage global working because you're able to not only have an idea of different places and different places to live, but also recognizing your own growth and development. And for those young people that don't understand, which is why I do what I do, is to make them understand they are the investment. They are the working investment. An investment in yourself is an investment in your future. So once I returned here with my daughter to do university, and I started to look at what the state of education was. I first went to Walworth School, which was a Harris Academy. I took their Harris Academy manual and a solicitor. And when I'd finished, I got everything I wanted. I even had them send her to a private revision school in Knightsbridge for free. And that's when I recognized that we had power. But also I started helping her friends and other children in the schools whose parents weren't turning up to parent evening, recognizing that this was part and parcel. I joined Ubuntu, and from there we formulated and expanded on LEG, and the rest is history.
Excellent, love it.
Thank you.
Fantastic. I just want to say as well, although you highlighted the point that you're not an anomaly per se. I think what is an anomaly is the fact that you share your story and you're giving back, which is why I'm always like that. I'm always bigging you up, because like I appreciate that, you know.
Yeah.
And that's true actually, because some people, so to speak, make it out the hood and don't look back, don't give back, don't invest back, and you do that. And so like Callum said, we applaud you and thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
And Gente, that this is hard. That's hard. That's a hard.
That's what I'm thinking,
He's
man.
young though,
Like, what can I say?
But we can make it easier, because obviously you're young male.
Yeah, it's me.
Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if that's where you want to start, but you like a similar question. Why why does this topic stand out for you? That it may be a bit obvious, but
Yeah.
from your perspective, why does it stand out for you?
Oh yeah, so I guess as you said, it's obvious, isn't it? Like, I'm Young Mayor of Lewisham. I started my position February last year. I'm coming to the end now, but like, even before I was young mayor, I've been doing stuff for young people, and like, I was young advisor for like 3 years before I became young mayor. So I've been involved in like the decision making with young people in the borough for a long time, since I was like 12 years old. And like, the way that my mum's like very influential in the community. She's a lot for like lots of different young people, and I've been helping her since day. So I've dealt with lots of different young people from across the borough. So it's lots of different types of young people from different backgrounds, different stories. I've spoken to like, I guess you could say like ghetto youths. I'm friends with some of the smartest people that I could name off the top of my head. I'm friends with probably like some of the most dumbest people like who are troubled, people who are good. Like, I just know like a wide range of young people. So I guess that's why I'm here. And also, I'm only 16. Like, I'm young. Like, the report talks about me and my peers. You get me? So
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
And that's, I guess, for you, this is the step, this is the foundations of what you will always go back to hold the council accountable.
Exactly,
that this came out, you was there, you was 16, so you at 32, all of this should be implemented. There should be a massive change in the key findings. And I really hope that you continue with that drive so that you are holding them accountable, because as we get older, I mean, I'll still be fighting, I will still rock out with my crutch and everything, but it's for your generation to pass the baton to make sure that these things are happening. So we applaud you and thank you for being who you are and coming in today.
And I definitely have to applaud you, because I think the social scope has changed as far as the conversations that young people have now, because we weren't having these conversations. But like, when I became, I guess, socially aware, it was very much from a militant standpoint, because I didn't have the linguistic skills to be able to explain why I felt so angry. I didn't have reports like this, or maybe I did, but I just didn't know about them. So I think I've got to applaud you as someone who has already taken up the baton in that way, to be able to challenge and speak out on things and support people. I think that's fantastic. And how old did you say you was?
16.
Yeah. So we got
me at 16, you think young mayor? What?
Yeah, I was
proud of you, man.
And also, I was gente. This is how I started out. I was young and I became politically aware. And you understand quite quickly when you enter into that political arena, it's important to have a social conscience, but it's also really important to plant your feet in the ground and figure out how you're going to live. And that's part of where I come in to the second part of the equation. And you know, when we were talking about you going to the school, I rang you up and I gave you the mother of all lectures about why you should actually go, because we have to encourage our children to take the opportunities as and when they arrive, and don't be frightened to push the doors open. They deserve to be there like everybody else.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
Right, I'm just going to get into this report. So again, you can look at anything you want, reports to remind yourself, because this report is a very big report. So I kind of want to ask yourselves questions. Up to you who wants to go first. I mean, I might actually just direct it. So I wanted to know, Susan, we'll start with you. So I'm assuming you read the report. I'm joking. So just looking at the overview of the report, what are some of the key things that stick out to you in this theme 3, children and young people?
Okay, I come from an interesting perspective on this, because I didn't really want to speak idly on this. So those that know me know that I have been attending the Children and Young People's board at Lewisham for 8 years, and I've been part of the Safeguarding Board now for 5 years. This report almost mirrors the social problems that exist in Lewisham. So in terms of health and well-being, if families are financially challenged, often the young people are not having good, balanced, healthy meals. So we're deferring to chicken and chips. My pet hate. I know people love it, but it's my pet hate. And we're also now presenting on top of this what used to be called Victorian illnesses, scabies, rickets, malnutrition in 2024. And due to the economics, sadly, the Blashare report isn't something at the moment that is truthfully self-correcting itself with knowledge. It's also looking at all the social situations and circumstances around that actually really embeds that. We're also now in a time in terms of resources, mental health, neurodivergency, special educational needs. I call it the new Hunger Games, where we have to be in the room fighting for our children to be able to get some of these resources. Lewisham is a good example, and Birmingham echoes this as well.
Yeah.
Over 70% of the resources for special education need is going to children that don't look like us, even if we are the majority within the borough. Living in low income families, being economically challenged isn't the end of the world, to be honest, because I didn't come from a wealthy family or anything like that. But what we had was community around us to support us. And when I had children, any child that came to my house, that pot was on fire. Even if I had to give my own dinner to my sons or my children's friends, there was a meal on the table, and I didn't ask about allergies. It was there's rice and peas and chicken and vegetable. You're hungry.
So you didn't cater for vegans then,
Yeah,
nah?
don't know about vegan.
I didn't know about vegan. But everybody's child that came through my door, I looked at them as my child. And this whole report when we talk about low income, being financially challenged didn't stop you from elevating to something, but there's different now indicators which make that equally difficult.
Yes.
Looking at the situation of neither in employment or educational situation, that's at record levels. And then you're asking yourself, well, what are these young people doing? Then you also have to look at the issue of criminality, because they still want exactly the same things that everybody else wants, which is hope, housing, future, employment, or creating their own employment through business. But they want life, and they want a good quality of life. And it's our responsibility to fight for that hope for them. So when you look at the statistics here, that black, especially Black Caribbean and mixed race children, it's that equation of how do you go from a challenged home life to being successful, and how does a child look at, okay, this is where I am now, but where could I be in the future? And I think the Blacher report, whilst it's tough reading,
It really is.
however, for me personally, I use this as an indicator to fight for things better, and I look for things that will give our young people better opportunities to upskill, but they also have to buy into upskilling and the desire, and know that they can achieve whatever they want. It's interesting when I go to speak with young people, Gente's age and younger, one of the things I love with them is that, well, what have you got in it? What do you drive? What's this? What's that? There ain't no designer crepes in it. Who's that? Who's that you're wearing? And I always say to them, it's not what's on my back or what I drive, it's what's in my account.
And you know, it's funny, the difference between my age and 15, 16 years, what's the change in 15, 16 years?
It's huge.
is astronomical. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, we had a bit of a cheeky, bit disrespectful to but you would you see someone who looks like your mum coming, you wouldn't even dream to ask, what you driving?
Never.
What?
Never.
Never in a million years. You just would. And another thing as well, because, and I think this leads on to one of my questions, which is again like to everyone in the room really. Another thing as well, I feel like when I was younger, when I was in school, we didn't really watch who had the latest stuff. There was that 1-2 man that were always fresh. They always had the latest trainers. Everyone else wore hand-me-downs. I think these, like I had these like when they first come out, and they were hand-me-downs. Like years old, my cousin just kept them, but they were like everyone just had hand-me-downs. You never had like, it just wasn't a thing. But now, like you have to have the latest, like Canada Goose. If I ever, when I was 50, mum, I want a Canada who?
Innit?
So I think my next question, like what I'm leading on to my question, which is a lot of the findings in the report, when they speak about sort of child poverty and things like that, a lot of people would say, but that's a community issue. How does that lead into it being systemic? And that's my question for the room. How does that lead into solutions that can also be part of the public health discussion and sort of part of the sort of more systemic way of resolving these issues?
Damn.
That's big questions.
Big question to ask you now. Thing with the poverty thing is interesting because, like, especially as you were saying earlier, like a lot of the people who are in poverty is you would see the children and you wouldn't know they're in poverty. You get me? You wouldn't know that you're not eating at home. You wouldn't know there's no food in the fridge.
Exactly.
Guys stepping out Nike Techs, Canada Goose, LV hats, blah blah blah. But you got no food in the fridge. You got no bed sheets. You get me? Like, it's interesting. I guess like at the end of the day, 'cause I do sociology in school. I'm learning about like sometimes when it comes down to like race and what's it called, financial situation, it comes down to like opportunities given to you. So like opportunities in school and how people perceive you. Obviously, you know, like if a black person and a white person go for an interview, it's more likely the white person's going to get the job in it. But like, it's just weird how it works. And like, I'm not sure what my point is trying to be, but like,
you've made the point perfectly, in my opinion. 100%. Even what you're talking about, like you to even identify on a deeper level what poverty actually is, what relative poverty actually looks like in the grand scheme of things, as opposed to like, yeah, you look good, but what is, and what you said about it's what's in my bank account, it's not like, what are you talking about? And also, what is racism? So how did that play its part? So I think that's something you both touched on, and that for me is really how it plays into sort of how these findings have occurred. It's not just the community is just lazy and we're just we're overweight and have low income. It's not that simple. That's not how racism works. And because obviously I speak a lot about racial equality, so I always bring it back to that point. But I think we need to have like a wider discussion, and maybe this ain't the day for it, but about how this isn't just as simple as it's just a community that's doing badly. You know, there's systemic pressures that are on us that result in some of these failings. We do have to take some accountability, but we also have to acknowledge on a bigger scale what racism actually is. It's not as simple as you're this or you're that. No, it's a system that's designed to put one above the other. You see what I'm saying?
And
yeah, there's no equity there, is there? So when it comes to, I'm thinking of myself, I've got 3 children and they go to 3 different schools, and if one's sick, I've got to take time off. But then you know how it is with kids, one gets sick and then it's a ripple effect. How do I get to tell my job that I need to take time off? They're not going to have it, especially from the profession I come from, which is teaching. I can't take that time off. And then what happens to young people that come from that background? I grew up with my mum being a nurse, and she used to work twilight shifts. So she'd be gone all night, come back in the morning.
Black people don't take time off.
Listen, my granddad's eulogy, when they read it out and said that he never had one day off.
Black people don't take time off. They done I read a report from Washington recently that spoke about how employers will employ. There's some employers that will employ black people because they know they won't. They're not taking the time off. They won't. They just through that fear and through that sort of insecurity of. I need to sort of. I need to do it. And it's that thing that you're always told when you're younger. You need to do better than your counterparts. So a lot of the time we don't, and that a lot of the time leads to burnout.
Yeah, literally. And
so this is how race sometimes can start to make a play in some of these findings.
Yeah, I just want to say, so I'm going to come straight back to you, Susan, but I think because we keep saying these findings, I feel like it's a good time to actually say what these findings are. So black children and young people are more likely to be overweight. live in low-income families, and be identified as NEET, which is not in employment, education or training. The proportion of black children in poverty has risen since 2010. So it was 42% back in 2010, 2011. And obviously this report was published in 2021. So this is looking at 2019 and 2020, and that was at 53% of our young people growing up in poverty. I mean, I can imagine that it's got a lot worse if we look at maybe some data for 2024.
Since COVID, yeah.
And then it speaks on black Caribbean children 2 times more likely to grow up poor compared to white children. Permanent exclusions of children and young people, like you said, black Caribbean students is 2.25% more higher than white children being excluded. And one thing I want to add there, it speaks on white children, but as you know, there's different classes, and when it comes to white working class students as well, their data is similar in a way. So it kind of shows that the deprivation is a big problem. In Lucian, we've got a lot of deprivation. So I just wanted to put that out there so you're aware of it, so that we can, when we are talking about the key findings, our viewers know exactly what that is. Susan, I'm sorry, do you want to come in if you even remember what you was going to say? I'm so sorry.
This is going to be a very interesting statistic. What Callum said in terms of America and them employing specifically blacks, actually employers will specifically employ Caribbean blacks. They prefer them over black Americans because Caribbean blacks historically work much harder, and as you said, they don't take the time off, and they have a plan because it was hard work for them to get to America, and they want that American dream not just for themselves but for their families back home. Their work ethics is off the charts. So then you ask, well, what's happening here? And having lived in both locations, there is a stark difference to being black Caribbean here as opposed to being black Caribbean in the USA. And here I find racism very oppressive. It's oppressive in every single area and structures of our lives. And I think for me personally, it's not going away anytime soon. You can train them till the cows come home. Where we should be focusing our energy, to be perfectly honest, in my opinion, is training our own children to understand what racism is and what it actually does to you. Once you're equipped with that knowledge, you then are better placed to make different choices and decisions. Racism is very complex.
Yes.
It's very ingrained and it's complex. There isn't a simple answer to it. But when you start dealing with young people, you have to break it down in a way to them that they understand and can internalize, but not be depressed by it, but be able to see it when it's coming and have a strategy. We have to spend more time and energy equipping our children to be resilient against a system that is never going to change. So it's how do you survive in that system and be the best version of yourself. Gente had mentioned going for a job interview and not necessarily being the first choice, but at some point you're going to be the first choice somewhere. You have to use that opportunity and not be browbeaten by negative experiences, but just use them as a stepping stone to get to where you want. But you also have to have the community cheerleading you on. The difference for me, having moved back to the UK after being in the US, is that I find young people very negative about their own existence. And they're negative about each other. So even though a lot of them sort of mock and will be, making jokes, a lot of it is negative in its delivery, and it's very damaging to each other's confidence. And the other thing that we as a community have to review immediately is children's loneliness. It's a serious issue, and it feeds into these statistics, because when a child doesn't have that wraparound service of aunties and uncles or other parents who will care for them in the same way that their parents do, they don't feel the love. And just the other day, my son saw one of his old school friends, and the first thing he said, "Your mum's dinner, man. Your mum would, even if I wasn't hungry, she'd make sandwich and send me back out the door with them." And you know, like my son, because my son used to sell his packed lunch at school. Because he used to have so much food, because I'm a feeder. So my thing is that you eat, you're all right, because that's also part of love.
I was going to say that culturally, that's love, how we show affection.
You actually can, we need to go back to this. So if we know people's children is coming home from school and they're in the house on their own, there's nothing wrong with going to talk to their parents and say, "My child is over here doing the homework. Do you want to do the homework together?" Somebody just to watch over and care, I think, is imperative. If you're going to change these dynamics.
Yeah. You know, anything to add there, Gente? Don't have to.
I just think it's interesting what you're saying about the parents coming together. Like, it sounds like a good idea in theory, but like in reality, that's one of the things where it's like weird now. There's no like community sense. Like, I was talking to my mum the other day, and she was deep in that. She doesn't really know any of my friends that I've met at school. Like, she doesn't know any of their parents. And we're just talking like, so if there was a thing where she like, if I was at home alone and my friends had like space, I would never go to my friend's house, because there's no community thing, get me? There's no like connections. Like, my friends are my friends, but like they only exist to me, if you get what I'm saying. Like, to my mum, there's no connections, there's no community anymore. And it's like, I know like my older brother, he's like 30 odds, but that's the thing that he used to have. Like, everyone used to come around to the house, everyone would vibe, go around out in the street, you know, he's with, he'd go up and down to like, his friend's houses back. It just doesn't exist anymore. It's weird.
And it's like, I know like the conspiracy, people say I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I won't go there. I won't go there. But it does all tie in, and it all ties in, because like, as an example, we didn't, and this is why I say it's changed so much in like 15, 16 years. If my friend said, meet me at Woolworths at 12, I have no way of checking that he's at Woolworths at 12. I just have to just hope and pray that when I get there at 12,
He's there.
If he's late, that I just got to hang around and rob some sweets from Woolworths or something, and just like, there's no way. Like, I had to. So if we was going to link up and play that PlayStation, there's no online. To go online, I had to plug in my PlayStation to the wall. Do you see what I'm saying?
I hear that.
So you had to be together. And I think what's happening is we just using this convenience thing too much. And I think convenience is going to just done us. And I think post-COVID, people are seeing the effects of this way more, because the community centers are gone. And this is bringing it back to how they like systemically what can be done from a public health perspective. And I appreciate, depending on the government, is how funding works, and it's a bigger conversation, but it's how funds are managed and how a lot of these things tie in. So it's not just the community is no longer communal. It's not just, oh, mums don't cook for like their children. That it's not that simple. And I don't want us to take, and I think this is where a lot of the negativity comes in, you were speaking about. We take it on ourselves without considering the wider factors. Actually, if there was community centres more, if there was sort of a lot more free after school clubs or free, you've got to pay to use the football cage now. We would have brought that open and jumped that. We would have no chance. We would have brought that open and no chance. I'm not advocating that at all. But I was like, the other day I took my son to the climbing wall. Like £30 for 2 people. Jeez. And I sat there and I thought, what are people supposed to do who don't have money? What are they supposed to do? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And like the woman said to me, you've got to sign up, like do your waiver, and you've got to do it on your phone. And I didn't catch attitude with her, but I said to her, this is the second time I've had that this week. I went to a restaurant, they told me I got to scan the code. I'm here, Tim, I got to scan the code. You're in front of me. Why are you assuming I have a phone?
Yeah.
Just let me sign it. What's wrong with you? I'm right here. And I think we have to start challenging these things. We have to start challenging practices as individuals and communities and hold them to account, because ultimately, if we don't, it's just going to become convenience. Nothing really ever changes. And I think that's why I always revert back to reports, because it allows us to say, look, this isn't just a community problem. This is a three-pronged attack. This is the user, the service, and the community.
Yeah.
It's not just just us, and it's not just you. We've got to look at it in that respect, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think as well, because I'm always about how we get through this. And I think a lot of us as parents, young people, we don't want no one to know our business. We don't want to know we're struggling. We don't want to know that my child's been excluded from school, I've lost my job, there's overcrowding in our home. And I think we need to break down that barrier.
Yeah.
And I've done it to myself before, where I've mum shamed. So I've gone for my own thing and too scared to tell anyone because of the judgment. And I think that's why we don't get that community feel anymore. And I think we need to break down those barriers, because a lot of our young people are holding a lot. You expect them to come to school, listen, engage, but they just left their mum who's got severe depression in a dark room. They just dropped their sibling to school. They may have been abused. They may not have had any money. And a lot of the schools now, it's all parent pay.
Yeah.
So you can't even bring a little £2 that you may have found in the bottom of the cupboard or whatever and pull it on yourself. No, your parent has to log on, put money on. But if your parent ain't got no money, then what happens? That child goes without food. And then those are the children that you see outside the chicken shop that may say to their friend, oh, let me have a chip or let me have a wing. And their friend goes, what are you begging for? But that child, that might be the only piece of food that's hitting that stomach for that child. But because, again, some of the young people may look like there's nothing happening at home, everything's fine. But I think as adults, and even yourself, because you're a connected young person, to read between the lines of what's happening.
Absolutely.
And some kids, because I always say this to the young people I'm around, the most rich people in the world, that proper wealthy, when you see them, they're wearing jeans, plain t-shirt, but they've got money. You don't have to wear your wealth. But again, I think that's a cultural thing for us, that sometimes some of us feel like we need to show our wealth, whatever that looks like, whether it's the clothing, the jewelry, the cars. And like you said, I know many people that have got cars that look flashy. You go to their yard, can you even get a cup for some water? There's a bed, a mattress, but no bed. Or there's no sheet on the mattress. And I think we need to break down those barriers and be open with each other, and we need to change within ourselves to allow those conversations to be a thing, so that we're supporting each other. Because one thing in the report, it talks about adverse childhood experiences, and it breaks down 10 different areas. And obviously these adverse childhood experiences doesn't mean a child can't thrive, but these are indicators to some of the issues that could. So there's physical abuse, sexual abuse, psychological abuse, physical neglect, psychological neglect, witnessing domestic violence, having a close family member misuse of drugs and alcohol, having a close family member with mental health problems, parental breakdown. And that's a really big one for me, for some of the clients that we see, that there is a big breakdown within our families. And again, that then spreads on to what the child is going through. And I think that public health, the school system, need to take heed on this and stop expecting our young people to be, no, we want them to be resilient, but understand they're human. That child may have come to school today, but yesterday their friend was killed. Or they've seen someone be killed, because social media allows anything that we do to be shared worldwide. And some things that our young people may never experience or see, they're readily seeing it on their phones.
Yes.
I agree, disagree.
Love it.
From the perspective of when a child goes to school, we have to be very clear about what the school's responsibility is.
Yeah.
Sorry, sore throat.
That's
Because on one hand, we've given schools, I think, too much power.
Yeah.
And a lot of things are hidden under the auspices of safeguarding. When it's convenient for whichever party it's convenient for. That's number one. Number two, my argument with the local authority and the schools is to allow more transparency to organisations and groups to be able to support our children, as well as the school do their part as well. So, for instance, if children are lonely, or they need feeding, or they need help, or their parents need additional support, that child is more inclined to speak to a community member that looks like them and understands where they're coming from. We in turn can help to support their parents. There's a lot of organizations within the community that have set up to help and support. The issue being is that we can't often get past safeguarding to get to the child to offer that help and support. We are then expecting a system that doesn't favor us to do the right thing by us. And the definition of madness is to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different response. So in the last meeting, CYP meeting, once the school stats had come out for how badly our children were doing in schools, again, I said, can we not be brave and do something different and include the community, which is the new extended family, through different organizations, help and support to actually help to address some of our own problems as well, and have a look at what that looks like. No, we're not going to replicate my type of upbringing because we're too far out the box. But even if we are helping and supporting and somebody's knocking on your door from your local area, are you okay? Is everything all right? Last week, I went to Gravesend to do firearms training and awareness. This is very important because Lewisham in 2022 had the second highest incidences of recorded firearms incidences, which numbered over 300. So we're talking about young people with guns. In 2023, that was superseded by Wandsworth, Chelsea, Westminster, and the City of London, because the young children and the vast majority of the gun holders were under 18. So they've recognized there's no point in holding up somebody in Lewisham if they ain't got no money. We're going to where the money is. So subsequently, the police set up the Rolex watch thing.
Yep, that's what I was about to say.
And they did that because once you start messing with tourist money, Centre of London, City of London money,
Our money.
and messing with money that should be allocated to us, the government suddenly finds the funds and springs into action. So we've now evolved as well from looking at knife crime into gun crime. This is all part and parcel of what we're having to deal with in the community. So the same thing that I would say to the council, I would say to our community, let's be brave and do something different.
Yeah.
And so people are going to say, but our statistics are bad, our this is bad, and that is bad. But we have some real armory to work with. Number one, we now have AI. AI is a leveler in terms of social deprivation and various other things for young people to be able to access. I did the BET 3-day conference on AI. AI learning is also off the charts. Children don't even have to be at school anymore to get a comprehensive education, which Gente will bear testament to in a moment. There's so much opportunities, but we within the community have to be able to engage our children. I have been begging to allow us into the schools to talk to young people about these opportunities. I'd like to say this is not an accident. The Blacher report and all the other reports that I have read are not accidents. It's intentional.
Yeah.
And it will remain intentional until we decide to change the narrative and go at it in a more collective forum.
Absolutely.
I'm just mindful of time. I'm just wondering, so I know you can cut this bit out, if we went over slightly. Yeah, we'll discuss that after, but I don't want to rush the conversation. But That's fine. Because I kind of wanted to allow Gente some time to talk as well, because again, this speaks to you in your age demographic, and also the opportunities for action that public health has said that they believe that these are the next step. And when I say that, I don't mean public health, it's more those that were part of the bringing together this report. And to say that young people were involved as well, their voices were heard. But again, for me, I do believe that some of the young people that Gente, you will know, there's some of them they're not going to engage. How did you get their information? How did they talk to you on these themes? Some of them are in certain places you can't even access unless you're a community member or whatever. So how was their voice heard? 100%. And are these actions for opportunities for action actually applicable to them?
Yes.
Or are they going to be that generation that sort of gets missed again, and only the ones that are involved like Gente are going to get the positivities out of this? You're shaking your head.
I've just recently engaged 4 drug dealers in Catford Broadway and encouraged them to go and do different career opportunities. I took them to KFC, couple buckets of chicken, and one has gone into cybersecurity. One is doing iCloud training. Another one is doing a train signaling course, and most of them were still selling while they were doing the training, and they were doing the training on their phone. So when they were sitting around waiting for whatever activities they had, they were actually still training and looking at the courses. Because the one thing I did, I showed them that with these careers, which don't necessarily need GCSEs, but you need to have aptitude to do it, it's going to be paying you more than out on the street. But what you've got to do is stay at a prison so that your skill sets become a global earning power. So that's why I'm saying that with the correct support and help, and the 3 that moved away from the area, I then worked with the probation service to help to find them housing and relocation as well. There is help and support.
I love that.
They've just got to be willing. And you know, my other half said to me, "What are you doing with drug dealers in KFC?" I said, drug dealers are some of the hardest working, well-disciplined young people who are smart, intelligent, and able. They have the skill set for automatic success. They just have to have it in the right arena.
100%. I say it, and I know we're strapped for time, but I'm very passionate on this subject. And you said something that I say all the time. Like, and it's never glorifying it, but it's like the people that have quite low self-esteem when it goes into the workplace are typically people that weren't able to engage with education in that way. So maybe they sold drugs, whatever. And I say to people like all the time, like, if you've in any way, shape or form, and I'm not talking about like big ounces and kilos, if you've even just couple draws here and there and 2 2s, whatever, I promise you, you've more than likely got the skill set that 90% of this country does not have.
Definitely.
You can walk into a boardroom with certain confidence. You have certain people skills and negotiation skills. Like, there's so many different like nuances to the business, small and large. You have to navigate like scary and anxiety inducing situations. Like, I can't explain enough how the education system, as unfit as it is for certain types of people, they don't understand that the world isn't the education system. The world is actually, you're actually more fit for the world than a lot of people that have gone through the education system in that that formalized way. But you just have to embrace it. You know, so I hear that.
I was like, I was talking about the drug dealers. I said before, it's about opportunities, isn't it? Like, I got a friend, probably shouldn't have said that.
We'll beat that out.
I know someone who indulges in those kind of activities there. And like, I guess it's about the opportunities. Like, if you live in a council estate and no one's trying to help you out, and you got people on the block who are dealing drugs, like, you got the opportunity there to deal drugs, you might have the opportunity to go out and sell to like people, not high up the chain, but like, I guess legally. You got nothing to sell legally, but you got drugs to sell. People who are ready to help you. Like, you got the opportunity to sell drugs, but you haven't got the opportunity to do anything legal. So I think that's, like, we're talking about it in school, like, about teaching business. They teach, like, they got business courses, but like, it's not really practical. And like, it's only available to like a certain amount of students. Like, we learn maths, but we don't learn how to do taxes. We don't learn about like the other day I got a job. I got my got my pay slip through, I saw the amount that I put on my timesheet, so the amount that's in my bank account. I was like, this is not making sense. You get me? Like, we don't learn that in school, and that's an important thing that we need to learn. So the opportunities so that we can grow, we can thrive, and like, we don't see the streets as the only way. If it makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That first paycheck, boy, that hits everything. And it don't stop.
It gets worse.
I still look at my paycheck and I'm like, this can't make sense. Like,
Exactly,
I know I've been looking for years, but this can't make sense. Do you know
Yeah,
what
I hear you. So we're just going to look at some of the opportunities for action. You can get your phones out and stuff because there's 7 of them. So I was kind of wanting to know, well, Gente, really, again, not to put it all on you, but because you are the younger one in the room, did these opportunities for action, again, these were, born out of, just that is the word, but they came out of from the advisory boards and the research that was done. Did these seem fitting for what needs to be done for children and young people right now, for someone that's, you know, young person going through the system?
I'm checking it now. It's like,
So I'll try. Oh, Lord, who wants to read one? I feel like I'm back in school now. Do you want to start over there, read a line each?
Condense them.
no way, because they're very wordy in that, innit?
They are, innit?
Very
Yeah.
well,
So the first one is around providing guidance and support for Black, African and Caribbean parents and young people on applications and transition to secondary school and further education, including online information, support liaison officers, summer schools on core subjects and finance advice, which is what Gente just touched on. So I guess, yes, that would be fitting for you.
Definitely.
And then the second one is commission and develop culturally appropriate and accessible services, including school-based support for Black, African and Caribbean young men and women to increase capability, capacity and trust to engage with services. This should be specifically actioned for mental health services and for sexual and reproductive health services, and take into account issues around gender exploitation and gender-based violence. So that's only 2 so far.
That's second one.
Now, should I just keep reading and then we can just...
The second one's very broad.
No,
way,
I have to agree with that.
Very, very broad.
But I think it's really important.
Yes.
Because at the moment, exploitation of young people in the sex trade is horrendous.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrendous. And you're talking about young children as young as even with the safeguarding board, we're looking at children from 8 upwards.
Jeez.
Who are in some cases being sold by their siblings.
Wow.
Yep.
So you're saying this is happening in the borough of Lewisham, yeah?
Yep.
Yes, and it's actually prevalent across most of the London or the bigger cities.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, the dark web plays a very serious part in this as well.
Yeah.
But so it's actually really quite important.
Yeah.
Number 3, review educational approach and opportunities for targeted intervention to increase academic achievement for Black, African and Black Caribbean children and young people. I'd like to specifically say this, that we introduced the pledge, which meant that schools in the borough of Lewisham had to work specifically with a toolkit of embedding race and racial equality to improve the outcome of Black African and Black African Caribbean children. The heads of these schools, under less than 50% of them have actually, although they signed to the pledge and agreed to do it, is actually doing it.
I was going to say, because I'm a governor at a local secondary school in Lewisham, and that pledge, I have so many questions and I feel like I'm not getting the answers because, again, it's like a tick box. Yeah, we've done it.
Yeah.
It's our little badge. We're part of the anti-racism in schooling. But what are you doing? What does that look like in principle? How do you look or be anti-racist? What is it being anti-racist?
School heads have been very uncomfortable about addressing this, because once they start to address it with young people start to ask some very uncomfortable questions, and they're now able to identify their own outcome and narrative. So this point number 3 and point 1, it's not actually really being actioned here in the borough of Lewisham, and the Lewisham Education Group was pivotal in forcing this to come into being in the first place. I am still working with them, my suggestion at this point is to actually look at schools that have not embraced the toolkit for embedding race and racial equality, and we'll start litigation.
Oh.
Because in no other area, in no other profession or corporation could you be well paid for bad outcomes.
Yes.
You can't be. And this has been systemic in over 30, 40 years. So we're now on generation 3 of the same situation. So everything ties back into the Blacher report and the findings that you're coming from, because this is an intergenerational, intentional plan of action, because we as a community are not forcing them to be held accountable. I started this conversation off with saying, when my daughter's Harris Academy didn't provide what I'd come back to England for, I went to meet the head with a solicitor in tow. And I think that no matter where starting the process of litigating against school heads who refuse to be part of this, we will raise enough profile and enough publicity to start forcing them to actually complete the pledge that they agreed to. We are not letting this go, because if you let it go, you're losing another academic generation.
Definitely agree.
Point 4, address low pay associated poverty for frontline workers who are Black African and Black Caribbean ethnicity. That is still going on, and it's now actually executed because organizations no longer directly employ people but do it through third-party agencies. So again, we are being horrendously exploited. But also, it's not just about employment. It's also about credit. It's also about going to buy cars. Often Black people are charged higher interest rates, although we assume that this had stopped. But there's a class action lawsuit currently against Toyota for actually systemically charging Hispanics, Blacks and Asians a higher percent, in some cases 5-6% above their rates that they would give to whites. So it's across the complete board. Point 5, work with trusted community centres and spaces to provide violence-free, accessible and attractive youth provisions for access to wider opportunities, including through existing contracts and partnerships with Black-owned businesses and leaders.
I think that's an interesting one, because like they say that kind of stuff all the time, but it doesn't really happen. Like you said, this report was like dropped in like what 2020, yeah, 2021. It's 2024 now. There hasn't been no movements on it.
And they know who the organizations are. They know who we are. They can work, but like they know who we are. We know the heads and the deputy heads.
Yeah,
they know us. Like,
but I think they know who we are, but they know that we won't conform and we're not going to play to their tune. And I think that's the problem. They want it to be on their terms.
But this is my whole problem with this is my whole problem with the opportunities for action. And I said this on the last one. I think some of them place it back on the community too much. It doesn't address the actual root cause of this. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not like, oh, them lazy lot over there. So if we provide enough opportunities, then that lazy lot over there will start working again.
It needs to change within.
Yeah, there's a reason these actions are happening, and I spoke about it earlier, you know. And I hate to be a person that's like, oh, race, and like you said earlier, racism is such a complex thing, and since George Floyd, we've got the language to explain racism, but not the understanding. A lot of us, we don't truly understand what systemic oppression means and what that looks like. We can't explain it. We just have the language to say, oh, that's because I'm Black or this, that. But it's just not that simple.
Yeah.
And that's some of my issues with some of the actions for change. That they need to engage with people who understand race can speak authoritatively. On what an oppressive system looks like. Because, you know, we're talking about, if we're talking about decolonizing the curriculum, then I might be like, Perfect. Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go.
But
Yeah.
we actually have signed up to that pledge to decolonize. The curriculum and the toolkit has been put in place. Some schools have participated. The vast majority of schools in the borough of Lewisham haven't. Point 6, collaborate with African and Caribbean communities and their leaderships on addressing air quality issues and continue with the in-depth work already in place with explicit consideration of these communities. I can speak on this. I moved out the borough of Lewisham because the air quality was so bad that we couldn't open the windows where I lived, because if you did, I would be coughing, I would feel unwell. I'm constantly dusting and cleaning because the dust and the pollution level is horrendous, and often we're placed in the worst housing in that position. And in terms of collaborating with the council, with organisations, African Caribbean organisations, the council would almost rather pluck their eyeballs out than actually do it. And often I am the only person around the table asking why not. And if they do choose certain organisations to work with, they'll fund them and then basically tell them, don't bother us. That is almost part and parcel of the agreement. Point 7, put in place interventions for Black African and Black Caribbean children and young people that address specific inequalities, e.g. sickle cell disease services, ensuring proportionate targeting and equality assessments of the whole population, intervention for issues they are disproportionately impacted by, low traffic neighbourhoods and school streets. We got bigger problems. We have such
when you started reading that, slightly fell asleep. Like, oh my gosh, really?
we got such huge problems outside of that. However, having intensively done this for 8 years, there is an unwillingness to do what is needed to be done. But as a community, we have to force this. And I know for Lewisham, we're currently entering a election cycle. We need to say to people, you need our votes to continue with your 100,000 a year plus salary. We need things to change. It has to be a trade off. We must have something from that.
So Gente, looking at those 7 opportunities for action, do you think there's anything that's actually missing? Do you think there's a missed opportunity here or something that needs to be implemented for the best outcomes for our young people?
I think my thing was, can't remember which number it was. It talks about working with community groups to create like spaces for young people and Black and families. Like, it's my thing, especially like with the Young Mayor's team. It's one thing we talk about a lot. It's like the council and the people up top, they talk a lot about this one, but no one's ever active with it. Like we have, was it Youth First?
Yeah.
But Youth First don't even do too much. Like most of the youth clubs there are run down. No one really wants to go there. I know we're working on the thing at the moment to rebuild one of the youth clubs in like Deptford. They're working on that now. But like, where is it really going to go? Like, if it's another Youth First thing, it's probably going to be dry. It's going to be dead. It's not really going to be. It's just going to be a space that's there. And it's a thing that they do a lot. They just put spaces there and just expect that and just go on with it. But like, I know back in the days, like again with my older brother, you go around to youth club, they'd have trips, it'd be free, like be trips, go enjoy yourself, have lots of stuff to do there. There'll be lots of people. But now it's just like, here's the space, do whatever.
But that's interesting because Youth First used to have a budget of £3 million. So again, and this is the other thing, we need to sit in these budgetary meetings. It's eye-watering. Lewisham Council gave Beckenham Place Park £875,000.
We don't even use it. We don't even, you know how much things happen. They've got pottery in there.
They've got
so
much happening down there.
You know, and we don't. A lot of us don't use it.
But one thing I will say,
we don't understand. I think it's a bi-borough built park.
Yeah, it is.
Bromley and Lewisham put into. But I think Lewisham put in more than Bromley. But it's mainly used by Bromley.
Beckenham Place Park is actually owned by Lewisham.
Yeah.
The However, I used to live on the avenue in Beckenham. When I used to see a black child in, I'd be like, hello, hello. But the facilities that are in Beckenham Place Park, and it wasn't until I was at a meeting and I'd read the 150-page report, I said to them, I go around the boroughs and I look at the dreadful services or the no services in parks for our children centralised in Lewisham. But we have a park which is primarily used by Beckenham residents that you have given 875. They buck shuffled and said that funding was complex. It's really not. And then that was year one. Year two, to save face, they only gave them 760,000.
Wow. I will say, I'm going to plug slightly. We've got a walking men's group, Black walking men's group. Well, it's more diverse now, but they go through Beckenham Palace Park.
Good.
And they say that when they do go through, when they first started, it was a big shock for all the other people in the park. Like,
It will be.
there's 20 black men walking through this park. Like, what's happening? Is there a march? What's happening? And they said it was really daunting at first, but now they own it. This is our space, and they do their thing. But yeah, I didn't even know that Lewisham owned that park.
Solution Park.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like shared, not that we own that park.
Solution
It's a
Park.
Lewisham Park. And when it used to have golfing, when it used to be golfing, most people didn't even know. And I remember when I used to walk there when I first moved back from America, the golfers used to take aim at me with the balls and tell me that I'm walking on the green. So basically, the things that we should be accessing, and you can learn to boat on there, you can do open water swimming. But one summer, a whole group of black children did go and decide they wanted to enjoy the park.
Please follow them.
They called security
Yeah, they did.
and police and had them barred.
Wow. Wow. Right. So we've gone slightly over, but I just want to give you guys literally a minute each just to summarize your feelings around this theme and what you would like to see going forward.
Alright, cool. For me, it seems alright, you know, like I can't think of anything more that they should add to it, but it's like, are you actually going to act on what you're saying? Like the King of the Council, they chat so much, like, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. we don't got enough money, but we're still trying. But we're not really trying. This report came out in 2021. Like, this is all new information to me. Like, all the stuff said in the report, I ain't seen, and it's 2024. At the council, they love to chat loads, but they don't do anything. So my thing is just like, okay, you got the report. Are you actually acting on it? No. You don't need to make another report. You need to act on the stuff that you said last time. You get me? That's what I'm saying. So.
Excellent. 1 minute, Susan.
My issue is the councils, police services and most of the agencies, they receive money for us to improve us. The question is holding them accountable as to where the money is going and what they're actually spending it on, because our situation's not improving, so that money's going somewhere. So that is number one for me. And secondly, we must start training our community parents and children to start being prepared for Industry 4.0, taking the jobs, taking the training to be able to be part of the next, basically, AI revolution and green technology. If we're not part of that, we're going to be left behind it. And please remember, we are all global workers making some serious money if you get this right. I personally think that we have everything that we need to help and save ourselves. We have to organise, but hold our local authorities who say they're going to do this, have them quantify what they're doing with the money. And just one last thing. Everywhere in London, buildings are going up. I had the biggest problems with Lewisham when I asked them how many of our young people are being employed. Where is the NSEL money going? I come from a construction background. I know about backhanded payments to the council. What are you doing with the money? And when I asked the councillor to deep dive, she was deselected. So this is deep. If we don't stay at the table asking essential questions, we will forever be going around in this cycle, and we have to start holding their hands to the fire for the things that we pay council tax and taxes for. We are not exempt in society from not making that contribution. And one last thing, one of the reasons that our poverty level is now so stratospheric is that most people have to remain in a financially challenged situation because they can't pay for the cost of housing. But we have vast quantities of housing being built, very little of it being given to social housing. And social mobility becomes extremely difficult if you just primarily don't even have a roof over your head.
Yep, definitely agree. And like we said in the last segments that we filmed, that we can take action, we can take responsibility. Our voices are powerful. So we'll put the link in our bio again for those that want to attend committee meetings, because these decisions are happening whether we're there or not. So you can engage with them. You can watch back if you can't watch live, you can't be there physically. And we'll add those all in. And also just a last thing, there's a lot, and you both alluded to it, there's a lot of amazing Black community groups in this borough. And I feel so filled with hope and positivity when I'm in those spaces with those people. And we will put a list of all of these, so I'm not going to try and plug everyone, but obviously we've got yourself, Ubuntu, we've got Leg, we've got Surge, we've got Joined Up Thinking. There's loads of incredible services that we can tap into. And also one thing that we did touch on, and we're going to have you back, is the looking at homeschooling and what that looks like for our children and our Black children. Well, I struggled during lockdown to do homeschooling, even though I'm a teacher.
Oh, babes,
but it was
you
hard.
Don't even have to.
Well, now, yeah, but I feel like AI wasn't.
A little robot is saying, "Come to class." Your child willingly goes.
Oh, that scares me a little bit. So thank you for tuning in to our theme 3, children and young people. We'll be back with our theme 4. Callum, do you want to take it away? Close it up for us. Don't look at me like that.
Why do you do that?
I don't know. I'm
I'm
sorry.
just echoing what you said. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure being in your company. And I just love hearing you guys. We even no cameras, we sit down and reason. I love listening to you guys speak. So I appreciate it very much. And thank you guys for coming as well.
And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, please, people. Share this podcast. Is all about making sure our community knows what the Split Share report is saying, and that we are making sure that we're holding the statutory organisations to account. And making sure that it's not just a glossy report, but they're doing something with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Peace.
Thank you.
I'll tell Callum. Let's go. Can we quickly just take it and leave?
Oh, yeah.
The clock is still ticking.
Oh, there was no. You didn't put the screen on.
Callum told me that apparently it's £15. You didn't pay for it.
Oh, okay.
He never said that was a thing.
According to him, that's on the website.
Oh, okay.
Crazy.
Is he for real?
Yeah, that's Callum.
Oh, we can take it sit down. We take it sit down.
Do sit down, sit down.
I don't know what's the issue.
We can just take
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, if there's an overpayment, I'll take care of it.
No.
Don't be silly. No.
I never knew you lived on the avenue.
Yeah, I own 2 houses.
She owns the avenue.
Owns
Owns the avenue, mate.
No, do you know the avenue?
Yes, my.
Oh.
I do.
I live around the corner from there, so I know the avenue. Yeah, man. Lovely house.
Sorry, where's your phone, babe?
It's here. Oh yeah, it's here.
There it is. Oh, it's all nice and warm, my big butt. Sorry. Hold on, I'm so sorry. Dry lip. Do you want to hold the report up or are we just doing it?
I was just crossing my hands, kind of look big. Show off the gym and all them something there, but you're gonna make you put up the report now, so.
You don't have to, you can just go somewhere so it's insignificant to
Yeah, so I'll hold the report, man. Don't worry about the gains.
Are you throwing up gang signs?
No.
Okay. I'm joking, of course not. Angles, yeah, mate. I don't know how to pose. Oh my god, everyone's relaxing, ready.
No, just smile. It's okay, it's fine. That's charging us, you know.
Thank you, darling.
Thank
I've got
you.
such a habit of when I'm taking pictures, I leave my head like that, and I need to stop doing it.
Yeah, I need to
Always.
see that before.
I've been doing it since I was a kid.
Was it okay?
Yes, it
That
was.
was
It was. Yeah, it
perfect.
was.
Thank
It was.
you
It
so
was.
much, guys.
It's a
That
big
was-
topic as well, so we can't get through every single thing. Do you know what I mean? But no, thank you both.
That's why I said even when I was reading it, I was thinking, I turn up to these meetings all the time. It's all BS. They're listening to you, they ignore you.
Yeah, literally.
Listen to you.
They say, no,
What
we've
blank just
engaged.
ignore
We
you.
engaged with
What
Jesse.
blanks or rights just ignore you.
I put my bag outside. Does that technically mean I've left?
For Callum, yes, but for me, no.
Listen,
Yeah, you
Callum.
got us, yeah?
Yeah, that's what
Stop tipping him, you know.
Listen, I genuinely will.
No, Callum, yeah. Callum would have said as soon as you even open the door, yeah, you're done.
Yeah. If he had said that about the 50 thing, I would have said cool. Do you know what I mean? But he didn't.
Nice,
He didn't say. Oh, Susan, you've got a thing over here, don't you?
Oh, sorry.
I'm surprised he hasn't called me saying it's gone over.
Say that again.
I'm surprised he hasn't called me and said their time is done.
Oh, is he going? No, but
He don't know we're here.
No.
We left 20 minutes ago.
No, but what it is, he can
He's
watch
watching live.
on the live.